Welcome everybody to the Mansfield Buzz.
Welcome to Mansfield Buzz, Jordan Hurdy in the mix, spotlighting local stories, every episode's a fix, unearthing unique gems, what makes them shine. Tune in, get ready, we're diving into their grind. With Jordan's questions, we reveal what's at the core. Hurdy's tech wizardry, bringing stories to the fore. Together we create, start showcasing what's unique. Mansfield Buzz, where content creation sleek. Calling all business owners and customers to the scene. Discover authentic gems, find the best you've ever seen. Meet the faces behind each unique space. Trust in their stories, find community in this place.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Mansfield Buzz. It is August. Oh my God, Noah, it's already August 13th.
I know, we're by quick.
I mean, it was January yesterday, right? I swear it was January yesterday. So anyhow, Noah Watts is my guest with BizTrix, and we're going to get to him in a few minutes. But before we do that, I want to welcome by Mansfield Buzz. We've changed a few things. We actually are going to be on live with a local business owner every second Tuesday and the fourth Thursday. Let me say that again. The second Thursday and the fourth Thursday of every month. So we've been 2 shows a month, and this gives us time to incubate the shows that are up and let our previous guests share them. So, hey, if you are here visiting for the very first time, and I know some of you are, because actually, no, I got an email the other day from some folks saying I've been checking out your show and like to be on it, which is really cool. And so what you can do is you can go over to youtube.com and you can go to / or you can just type in at Mansfield TX Buzz. So go to youtube.com, look up Mansfield TX Buzz, hit the subscribe button. But today, do me a favor, and there's a thumbs up underneath the actual live video, and you click that. That helps with the algorithms. Of course, we're local. We're not trying to be nationwide, so a lot of the services we provide are local. So our show subscription keeps growing, but it's always going to be based on local visits and not necessarily a national thing. If you are watching, you can comment with us if you like, and if you hit a comment and you have a question, as Noah and I go through his questions today, just make sure that you chat with us, ask a question, comment. I'll put it up. And then we will, in fact, make you famous on the chat box, and you'll be there forever. So that's really cool. So please subscribe. As I mentioned before, that's right there. And if you want to be on the show, I have some September and some October dates open because I just relaunched this show after the summer. We took some time off in the summer, which was really kind of nice for all of us. We needed a break. We've been on 2.5, 3 years, but email me at hurdy.burke@gmail.com, and in the subject line, or simply put Mansfield Buzz. I will send you how the show works, what we do to get on it, and the dates available, so you can pick one and email me back. And with that said, Noah, we have a special icebreaker for you today, my friend. So we're going to talk about that, but as soon as we do, we'll be right back. You know, no, it never surprises me that every time we get a guest on this show, I'm always surprised about when I ask for an icebreaker or something that is kind of unique or we may not know about a person. You know, I get some of the strangest answers. And actually, I'm going to tell you, this is probably in the top 5. Okay. So you're not the winner yet, but it's still pretty good. So let's bring this up. Our icebreaker is a fun little segment we do to get to know our guests a little bit. So here we are. Really. So can you dive into this story a little bit?
So the story is that I don't do roller coasters. I don't like roller coasters. Even when I was working at Six Flags, so during Fright Fest, because where I was at, our Six Flags was connected. It was in Hurricane Harbor and Six Flags over there, everything was in one park.
Yeah.
I would, when my friends would go on the roller coasters, I would hold their stuff and I'll be waiting at the exit. I just don't like the feeling in my stomach. I was like, and it's crazy, and I'm not going to incriminate myself, but when I'm in speeding situations, I get the same feeling, but I'm in control. I just don't like it, having that feeling and not being in control.
Yeah, so you're like a lot of people that, you know, if something's going to go really fast and throw you around, you'd like to know you have your hands on the wheel, so to speak, you know, and you can stop it and start it when you want to instead of sitting over there waiting for the bad thing to happen, right? So that's good.
It's only a minute too. That makes it worse. It's like,
you know, I was telling you earlier before the show, when these new high tech roller coasters that you go on that make you sit in seats that are open that can flip over, and I remember doing one of those rides. I guess it's been 5, 6, 7 years ago, but anyhow, I remember you go so fast on some of those that you don't have time to get upset because you're in it before you even realize what's going on, right? And it's over, and you went, "Wow, I didn't have time to scream because we were already in it." So yeah,
it's already going. Cool. It was already happening.
Yeah, pretty cool, man. All right, so let's see. Let's see. We might as well stop right here. Okay, remember the lowest bid built the roller coaster.
Unless they're at Disney World.
Oh, what does that mean? I don't even know what that means. What does that mean?
So there's a thing out there. I don't know how for sure because I've never built a roller coaster, and I only have minimal knowledge about like the park since I worked at one.
Right.
But same thing like military, like they go with whoever bid the lowest, and they build it up, safety inspections and stuff like that. Disney World, Disney in general, not just Disney World, but Disneyland as well. They have their own people that inspect and build the roller coaster.
All right, so that's what those guys do. Okay, so I didn't know that. So you knew that. That's really good. Thank you. You just helped the guest. I know, but you just helped the guest at least answer. He knew what it was, but he commented on that. So there you go. All right, so we're getting ready to. Matter of fact, that guest who just commented on that was on a previous show with us helping veterans. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take a moment to do a Mansfield Buzz Rewind. No, we'll be right back to start diving into your questions. So bear with us as we go through Rewind.
Quick rewind, keep it tight. Highlights, prime to ignite. Catch the vibe, feel the rush. Previously on the Mansfield Buzz.
But if you're listening and you know somebody's a veteran who may need help, what should they do?
I'll take this one, Mike.
Yep.
First of all, to every veteran that's listening today, first of all, thank you for your service. If you need help, please don't wait. Please call that number that the 214.
I got it. 214.
There you go. 831-0298. Please call that number, and so that we can get you some assistance. You earn these benefits, so sit down and come and talk to us so we can get you benefits that you earn for free. I mean, you don't need to be, if you have no veterans, you don't need to be paying anyone because not only do Mike and I do them, and our other service officers do claims for you. But if you have to go to a board or anything, we have representatives that are lawyers that do this for you as well for free. So again, if you're out there paying someone, please just come to the chapter 246 in Mansfield, and we'll be able to take care of you and your needs.
All right, guys. So to fill you in a little bit, Noah, they just had that office open, and there was 2 offices, and you're a veteran, so you probably know what I'm talking about. And by the way, thanks for your service, dude.
Thanks for your support.
Yeah, is they work with disabled veterans that have a hard time getting through the benefit process. So there's a big office in Dallas. There was one in Fort Worth, and they eliminated the wait times and time. So they just got an office physically open here, and we're going to be readdressing that location on another show coming up. But that's what they're here for. So guys, check out them. There's a past broadcast on here. If you want to go back and watch the whole thing, and you're a veteran, you're disabled, or you have some issues, you need to sit down and talk to them because they can help you through the process, and they're very, very good at what they do. So that's a good thing. All right, my buddy. We talked to you, Noah, probably the second show we ever did on the Mansfield Buzz, and that was almost 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago. Okay, so we have a lot to catch up on, and I will tell you that I had a chance to go look at your site, and I'm anxious about you answering these questions, and we'll talk more about what I think as we go through this. But before before we talk, well, it's part of the story. So let's bring up the first question, but let me add to this. What made you create this? Because I think there's a story there, right? I mean, you just don't sit down one day and go, okay, I'm going to do this. So tell me a little story about how this all added up to how you wanted to create this.
Okay. So growing up, I always did something to make money. Like I sold candy at school. I got in trouble for that. I think I told you the story in the last, like on the last one.
That's okay. It's part of the story. Yes, go ahead.
But I sold candy in school, got in trouble for that. They told me I couldn't sell candy anymore. I'm like, 11, 12, 10, 11, 12 years old, and my entrepreneur side has always happened. Well, I was growing up in the PG DC area. So I was like Capitol Heights, Southeast DC area. Well, and that's important for the story. But the thing about it was I was constantly asking people how to make money, because I would go out and, you know how kids be like, Mom, can you give me this? Mom, can you give me that? And you'd be like, no. Well, I realized my mother didn't tell me no when I bought it. So I was like, all right, cool. I was like, this is my money. You can't tell me no. So it really upped it. Well, I would go out and ask people, how to make money. Now being, 10, 11, 12, 13 years old, you don't really have that many options, being that young. And everybody, I'm gonna just say, everybody who was legally making money was saying, oh, you get a job, you get a job, you get a job. Like I said, I was 10, 11, 12, 13 years old. There's a thing called child labor laws. And then not only child labor laws, but I'm also competing with grown adults as well for these same jobs.
Yeah.
And who would they rather pick, them or me? And they would rather pick them. And so I kept that. I mean, this doesn't stop me from asking questions like how to make money. Well, that also led me to ask people who were doing illegal things to make money. And they kind of showed me. And, I picked that up. But later on in life, around like 16, 17, I started realizing like this was not, like, just a whole bunch of bad stuff kept happening. And I was like, this is not sustainable. Like, if I want to be here, for my mom and my little sister, I was like, this won't be sustainable. Like, I already see how it's going. Everything was going left and right. And it was just like on a constant basis. And so that's when I really looked at, my life, and I was like, who do I have as like a representative, like, how to make the change? So the good thing is my grandfather is from the same area that I am from as well. And he joined the military. And I seen how his life is. I was like, man, he's not stressing the same way I'm stressing. And mind you, I do understand, the age gap. But at that time, I was not thinking about that.
Right. Gotcha.
And I was like, I'm gonna just follow in his footsteps. And I started off to the Army. And when I was in the Army, same thing, how to make money, how to make more money, really. Because you already got your paycheck. I was like, I need to make more money than this, because that $300 paycheck just wasn't cutting for me. And they were telling me all types of things. And I was just like, man, if I'd have known these things back then, I wouldn't have did majority of the illegal things that I did. And I really want to make sure kids who are like me or grew up in the same situation as me have access to those same resources that I have gotten access to. And I want to use the internet to make that happen, because we use the internet for everything else. Might as well use it to make sure people get in business, people get the proper business, and make it better for all.
Yeah. And so, which leads me to this. So how did you come up with the name BizTrix, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, in all honesty, and I have to add this part. If you have an idea, if you have a business idea, entrepreneur idea, I'm gonna tell everybody, just start. Just go for it. Start with that idea. Go for it. You're going to get the name later on. And I went through hundreds of names, and I was like, this, that. It was so bad. I was wethepeople.org. I was like, because I want to help more people,
Right.
I was trying to help, the everyday person. Well, I'm still trying to help the everyday person. But I was like, I'm wethepeople.org. I'm going through names. And I was like, BizTrix. I was like, I need something catchy. I was like, I need something catchy. I need something that rolls off the tongue. And then when you leave, it's still sustainable in your mind, where it's like, oh, that, and then when I jump on, it still makes sense.
It does.
BizTrix. And then I was like, and it felt like a shock to me. And I was like, oh, that's it. And I haven't turned my head since.
No, and I like it. I always want people to hear that story, because it's amazing sometimes how we rack our heads. And you're right. By the way, good entrepreneur statement there in the fact that where most people get in trouble in their business that want to start a business is called procrastination.
Mm-hmm.
Be willing to start and get going. All right. So obviously this is part of the challenge, and I want to get more into your portal as we get deeper into these questions, right? Because I'm on it. I want to explain why I'm doing on it, but some of the challenges you faced, I know.
You already know what I'm about to tell you. All right, so I lost $35,000 with the last software developers that I had. And they played on my ignorance. I knew nothing about the technology field. I knew nothing about this. I just knew I had an idea and I wanted to make it plausible, but I knew nothing about front end, back end, database. I knew none of that.
Gotcha.
And that was one of the biggest challenges because remember, I was going for years. You remember, like,
yeah.
After I got on the show, you was like, "Oh, I'm gonna check it out," and I was telling you, I was like, "Do not go on it." I was like, I am not trusting the last software developers. I said, so please, I said for your safety, because if somebody tells me they put their safety, the information is in my hands, I'm gonna make sure it's as secure as I can make it be.
Right.
And I was like, because I see what they were doing to me, I was like, I don't know what they're going to do with this type of stuff. I didn't want any more people on currently until I, switched over to my new software developer.
Yeah. So that leads me to another question. So we won't talk about that amount of loss again, but going through that, what did that do? What did that do to your psyche? Did it knock you down till you didn't even want to do it, or did you just keep asking the right questions till you got, because you really knew this was going to be important to continue?
It actually improved my psyche. Like, it sounds crazy to say, but it was like, I am so like, I think it was, in all honesty, I think it was a challenge to, like, the world was challenging me, like, do you really want this? Like, is this really your dream? And that's what I look at it as. It was like, somebody played on my ignorance. Yes, they got 35,000 out of me, but that was one time. Imagine when this is built and finally, that 35,000 will be a drop in the bucket.
Right.
But I view this as a challenge. Like, is this what you really want? And I just I just kicked the door down and just kept kicking the door down. I did more research. I asked more questions. I got around more people that knew about the software development side. So, I'm not saying that I can't get scammed again, because, we never know what can happen.
Who can't? Right.
It's going to be a lot harder than it was before. I'll tell you that.
Sure is. And I'm telling you, I remember our interview, the second show, like I was telling everybody earlier when we started this. And I remember you were still going through the thinking side of this. You were still trying to figure out, is this going to work? What I wanted to do with it. And of course, the bad developer showed up after the show, actually, but you knew something was not right, right? You knew that something had to be done. And here we are today, 2 years later, talking about a really cool thing you got going. So, and we want more people to be a part of that. So that leads into this, of course, and that is, what was the strategy? I mean, seriously, because let me throw my 2 cents in here. I'm going to be the bad guy here, but really the good guy at the end. Okay. So just know that. So we've got Facebook, we've got YouTube, we've got LinkedIn, we've got little portals on the left and right. We've got chat. We've got all these tools. What was your strategy? Because once we introduce this in a minute and tell people exactly what it's about, what was your strategy before you had the viable product? What were you thinking into that people needed, or what did you discover people needed?
Well, I just put boots to ground. This is not my first, entrepreneur journey. So,
right.
Kicking doors is not brand new, but I was like, boots to ground, beat the feet. And I just got out there. I was making connections for people. I still got people hitting me up over them telling me about the connections I've made for them. And I was just showing people, like, I'm fortunate enough to be in a situation where my bills are taken care of, and that I have the freedom to go out and network you know, more than somebody of my age. And I want to show people, when you give people these type of luxuries, what can be done and what can happen. So I just, like I said, I just put boots to ground and got out there and showed people what I'm trying to accomplish with BizTrix, and I did that through myself.
Yeah, and you know the cool situation is when you're running a business and you don't have to worry about the external things like most people do, right? The
Mhm.
financing money because you've probably got some stuff from the past coming in, whatever. My point is it takes the stress off. You're also free to go in different directions as you see fit when the time comes, which is really cool too. So to throw this in now, I noticed a couple sessions and I'm hoping you do more of this because I really liked it. And I'm just going to throw this in. Noah's in our network group, the Mansfield, Texas uh, network group, in that we meet at No Frills Bar and Sports Bar, No Frills Grill and Sports Bar, and he was bringing in a wireless mic and a cell phone, and you were actually and you did it with me. You actually mic'd him up and you asked him a question, right? And you stood next to him and you were doing a series of these. Can you tell me what that was all about?
That was one, to gain more content for my Instagram and Twitter and things of that nature. But also, with that content, get out that knowledge, that information, you know, people have that kind of gets overlooked. Be like, oh, well, you know, they don't do that anymore. Like, people's past jobs and people's past experiences means they still have those knowledges and those experiences. And it just really
Exactly.
shows that, like, your everyday people, it doesn't matter where they are in life, they still have knowledge that somebody else might need.
Okay. We're now four questions into this, and before I ask you this new one, because things have changed from then and now, let's stop there. Let's tell everybody the name of the website because we want to dive into what you're doing with it. Tell us a little bit about what BizTrix is actually doing right now.
So currently, BizTrix is up live. It is on Apple and Google Play Store. It's also a website as well for the ones that don't like apps. Just in easy terms, networking through the internet. The same way you use Facebook, same way you use Twitter to network, you know, get connections. LinkedIn is the same way you use BizTrix. I was talking, I had a one-to-one with Matt, and he said I should just start telling people, if you know how to use Facebook, you know how to use BizTrix, because it's really basically the same.
I would say that's a good idea.
Okay, I appreciate that. But it's basically it's similar. I'm not going to say the same. It's similar. But the thing is, I remove a lot of the personal stuff. This way, people can focus and get on the site, get the information they need, get the connections they need, find out where to go, find out where to network at, and they get back to work. Because we say it all the time: if you're always networking, when are you working?
Yeah, so I consider this to be, here's my opinion. I look at it, yes, you could say that, but I wouldn't want to put it in the same handshake as Facebook because Facebook has a lot of dancing and dog pictures and cat pictures and family stuff. I would say this is more of a handshake business for business, right? Online, but kind of a social portal in a way you can do that. Like I have a profile on there and I'm getting ready to dive into your BizTrix and add some of our past shows, which you've wanted me to do, and we need to get those up there. But I see it as kind of a business portal, like a large network group, but you can communicate with each other on it and look for sources and information. So, and I love the colors. I
Thank you.
think the black and gold really looks really good on the profile, and it's clean. No,
Thank you.
it's clean. A lot of people build websites have little asterisks here and little things over here, and it makes the tools look so different from the real world that it almost looks stupid. You know what I'm saying? So your site is clean. It looks good. It's easy to manage. And as people get on it, they can send you email and say, could you improve this or could you work into this? Right.
So
So, yeah.
we do in the site. Everybody will be on the forum, and it's called BizTrix support, technical support, and it's so people can tell like when things are breaking,
Right.
you know, things aren't uploading properly. If they want if they think something will be a better improvement, I really want to take my customers, my users' input, the feedback, and I
Yeah.
really want to implement them because, like I say, I do this to help others. It's not really for me. It's so more people get in business, more people find where they need to go, and people aren't just continuously running with their heads cut off.
Yeah, and I would say that it's more geared toward what people want as opposed to what you're trying to do with some other big portals, right? Like other social networks where they control everything. You
Mm-hmm.
want people to be able to make suggestions so you can improve it down the road. So that leads into this question. How have things changed from then and now? And I know this could be a long answer.
First, got it. Like I said before, I got a new support. So I got a new software developer,
Good for
and
you.
that has changed things drastically. Not only did I get a new software developer, but my software developer gives me insight and information about ways to help improve the site, things that other people are looking for. Like I said, this is not just me, and I'm
Right.
definitely taking. And if they ever watch this video, she's probably going to tell you there's some times where I'm like, nah, let's just do it. And then like months down the line, I'm like, I would get rid of that. She's like, I was already ready for it. Already peed it and got rid of it.
Right. Okay. Makes
But
sense.
she's the reason. She's one of the biggest reasons for. I didn't even think about articles. She's one of the biggest reasons for articles.
Good.
She was like,
Perfect.
yeah, thank you. She was like, a lot of entrepreneurs, they want to, vlog and blog and tell people about, the process. She was like, and this helps with SEO. And for anybody who knows this or doesn't know this, I mean, my bad. That articles also help with your SEO, AEO, and GEO. And she was like, these are things entrepreneurs are putting into, so they get more exposure and stuff. I knew nothing of that. I just know how to connect people. And that's all I focused on. She said that. I said, let's run it. And that's one of the biggest changes that has been made. And it's really turned out great. Because
Yeah, it's good for you because Substack's real popular writing spot now, and people like to write articles. And you're right, very unique content that's written by somebody telling a story or some problem they solve has a good chance to getting into AI overviews along with other stuff, right? That connects the dots. So yeah, cool. I'm glad you're doing that. I'm going to be writing on there too, as a
okay.
matter of fact. So just
And
so
I
you
take
know.
both. I take the blogs and the blogs.
Well, hey, I love that. I write on LinkedIn. I can write somewhere else on a different portal, right? But
I appreciate it.
listen, folks, I'm trying to tell people, you don't want to get married to everything. Yes, there's certain sites for your business that do better than others, right? Like there's some people do really well on YouTube. There's other people do really well on Facebook. There's other people do really well on LinkedIn. There's other people do really. It just depends where your audience is. But if you're going to write and produce content and get it up onto like a handshake, like BizTrix, right, where you're trying to find resources, right?
Mm-hmm.
Great place to kind of hang your hat and check it out because it is different. And I consider it looks the same, kinda, but it's different. And that's the key to it. So you got a good advocate here. All right. So next question for you, buddy. Everybody asks this question. Anybody in business has said this a million times to themselves. I've been doing business since 2009, right? So how could I have done that differently? What would you do?
So if I could do it differently, would I? My answer would be no.
No. Okay.
And the reason why is I also coach a baseball team. And one of the biggest things I always tell them is I never learned from my wins. I've always learned from my mistakes and my losses.
There you go.
And if I didn't lose back then, that means that loss was going to come later down the line. And would I rather have it at $10 or would I rather have it at $10 million or $10 billion? I'd rather have it at $10. So those things never happened. I would have never learned from them. And so for me, I wouldn't change a thing.
So your analogy, the money story is my story is that you're driving down a paved road and you see this beautiful little side road. It's nice gravel, go on it. The car's fine. You turn down it. It's wide. It's got good gravel, no problem. But as you go down the road, the gravel runs out. The ruts in the road get a little deeper. Street lights go away. eventually power lines go away. The ruts get
Roll
deeper.
my own.
Should I turn around and go back to the paved road, or should I keep going down until I get to a dead end? And the idea is to turn around and go back to the paved road. Yeah, got it. Got it. Yeah, you want to learn your lessons. We call this failing fast, and the faster you fail, the better you can learn from that, right? Long-term failures can really hurt a business because you get stuck. But a short-term failure where you go, oh, okay, I just learned from that. Now let me implement this, right? So fast failure is a good thing. Okay, so I guess we kind of talked about this, but maybe you can go into more detail about how you set yourself apart. You know, I know you have to think into this a lot because you do have to look at your competitors and what they're offering out there, right? So how do you set yourself apart from your competitors?
So for the people who will check it out, I tell everybody, view your profile as your portfolio. And the reason why I say that is because I use groups just like Facebook groups. That's where you find out what's going on in the community, events that are happening, and things of that nature, who to connect with. Reddit, for forums on BizTrix, I've kind of replicated Reddit a little bit.
Good for you.
Because people ask, there's a running joke that says, you think you have a problem until you realize somebody on Reddit had that same problem 4 years ago.
That's absolutely true.
So with those two, and one of the, like I say, the articles as well, but two of the biggest ones that I have is the investment side. So I realize not everybody needs $100,000 loan, a $300,000 loan. Some people just need $1,000, $500 to get their business started, help pay for the paperwork,
right?
Things of that nature. And these are, prices that your everyday person could afford. And if they lose out, it doesn't, break their wallets.
Right.
That's one of the big differences. And the other one is events. So even on Facebook, you see like, oh, your friend, is interested or is attending this event, but you only see that they're their friends. Right. What happens for those times that, after the event is over, how are you going to connect with people? How do you know where they're going? I might have just connected with you today, but you could have gone to something, let's just say 2 months ago, that would have been very vital for me to know. But, I just met you today. You don't really completely understand what I need, but because I view your profile, I'm like, oh, I can go through and I can figure out everything that you're into. I can look through your profile and be like, oh, I need to go here. Oh, I should join this. I need to be a part of this. And just using it. So like I said, using it to help guide, direct, and help people figure out like where to go, who to talk to, and things of that nature. And instead of it being over here, because there's a study that went around and it says with us switching between multiple platforms, we lose about 5 weeks a year by switching through multiple platforms. I'm merging all these things into one place, so you don't have to go over here. You don't have to go over here. You don't have to go over here. You miss, and this also helps so you don't miss the connections. And like I said earlier, I don't want you on BizTrix all day. My mission is not to make sure I keep your attention all day. My mission is to make sure you get the proper resources, that vital knowledge, and you get back to work.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, the fact that you're incorporating a kind of a Reddit type of atmosphere on there where people can ask questions and respond to them, and that's a big world, and a lot of people like that. They like to go to those research sites and see what people are asking, right? Solving problems, issues, whatever. The fact you have that on BizTrix is really cool. We'll give you guys the website in a minute. Yeah. So, by the way, it is biztrix.org, biztrix.org. Go check it out. I'm going to post it in the show, and the link will be in the description after the show's over. So go check it out and go get on it, for goodness sake. It's real simple. I love it, man. I told you before the show I was going to start digging into it tomorrow, and I'm going to add some more of the shows up there, and I'm going to start some questions and answers like they do on Reddit and stuff like that. So it'll be fun.
I was thinking about starting a profile, just so we get more people from the Mansfield network, because you have so many people, and this happens all the time.
You should combine. You should put up like a section of all the Mansfield network groups, right, and support them all. and then let people they're part of those groups come in and add themselves to it. That's a good idea. You have to figure out the logistics, but I like it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was just going to create a profile, and this way I can tell. And I was going to create a link and everything for when I go to the group, because
Right.
there's so many times that people have these groups. I mean, not groups, events, and we run out of time at the because we usually have over 60 people at the Mansfield Network.
No kidding. Yeah.
Like it's pretty crazy.
It's big. Yes.
Yeah. But so many times people want to tell others about their events, and they kind of get washed away because we ran out of time. So if I have, like I said, basically a directory, portfolio, and if I create it for the Mansfield Network, that will also help people not be looked over or skipped over, because it's not like we do it on purpose. It's on accident. It's a lot of people.
Well, and you have to understand, the difference between your site and that, and what people are going through on Facebook and the network group is it's in a feed, so it goes away as quick as it shows up. This would be a more place where people could really connect with each other. So I like that.
No, thank you for that one. I definitely should have added that part, because it does.
No, it's a good idea, and I like it, and I think that anytime you can get people into a community where they can actually share about their business and then help refer others, and it's not noisy, where it's legitimate referral, a lead for somebody that because you worked with them or whatever, is a lot better than the noise. As I go, noise, it drives me crazy. All right, next question here, buddy. What are some of the activities you believe help shape your thought? And these would be things outside the business, right? Because actually, our experiences and the things we go through in life they shape our thoughts and our processes, right? I'll be really interested to hear yours.
So one of the biggest ones, there's been a big complaint about getting more Black people into baseball, right? And growing up, I played baseball. I didn't even really enjoy the sport. I was just pretty good at it. My father was good at it, and I learned also that my grandfather was good at it as well. But I didn't really want to play it. But the thing about me was I'm left-handed, so I'm a very special niche person in baseball. Even though I don't like it and I don't enjoy it, I didn't want to stray that away from other left-handers, playing baseball. And because I knew how difficult it was so I'm basically see myself as a translator, because I knew how difficult it was for a lot of my coaches to teach me, because all the time they were always telling me that I can tell you what to do, I can't show you what to do. You're going to have to figure that out. And, that can really, for kids who maybe even really love the game or enjoy the game, that might stray them away, because you can't teach me what to do. Where am I going to get the knowledge from? So I'm kind of there to, close that gap. And this has really helped shape a lot of ways. I think it's definitely helped me with patience. Truly helped me with patience, man. We have a 16U, a 14U, and a 12U. And let me tell you, sometimes you're looking at the kids that is nothing of what we practice. I don't even know, where did you get that from? We've gone to practice four times this week. We get up to a game and then you do that. It was when have you ever did that? You just chose today.
So
but it definitely helps with patience. Definitely helps with, communicating. And it also helps, get me outside. I'm able to talk to others as well.
Yeah. The cool thing is whether you liked it or not, you're coaching now.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool that you're now putting your efforts and talents back into helping kids to see the right side of life and giving them a skill. So that's really cool, brother. So that's good. Yeah. I love baseball myself, so I can relate to that story.
Hey, come out sometime.
Yeah. Well, after I left playing baseball in college, I always wanted, I would have been, coaching would have been a real fun gig for me, but I went into the job market. But another story, another day. So anyhow, I love baseball. All right. How has this journey changed you? Now I've known you for a couple of years. I see maturity, but I also see same Noah to me. You're always fun and kind of lighthearted and like to meet a lot of people. So how's this journey changed you a little bit, Noah?
It's made me realize like I always had the mind like, oh, how to make money, how to make money, how to make money. I kind of switched over the mindset to I need to start enjoying doing the hard stuff so my life is easier later. But I really started enjoying doing the hard stuff because it's definitely made me get out my comfort zone and
Yeah.
experience more to life. Because
Yeah.
I there was a point in time, and obviously didn't have a lot of money. So you ever see me just in the house all the time, just know he's probably saving for a rainy day. But it
Yeah.
was I would do what I need to do, and I would always go back home, and that's how like my day was. I would always do what I need to do, go back home. Do what I need to do, go back home. Now I'm starting to get out more. Be outside.
No, no way.
Yeah.
Because you have always you have always told me in our group meetings that from day one, and I'm glad to see that, by the way, is that you just didn't get out much at all.
Nah,
You just would rather be home doing your thing, and but it's good to hear you're getting out a little bit. Good for you,
thank you.
baseball coach. All that, yeah, you had no choice. That's cool. All right, any words of advice for upcoming entrepreneurs?
Stay consistent. Do the hard stuff. Don't let somebody just because, and really know how to pivot. Just because take people's advice, with a grain of salt, and know how to pivot will be one of the biggest factors to you being successful. If you can do those two things, you'll be extremely successful.
Yeah, so my term for that is don't let these energy vampires tell you what you can and can't do. So don't listen to people say that'll never work.
Mhm.
You're in a social media network. Why do you think yours is going to work? Why are you even doing this? Nobody really cares. Okay, so you got to get rid of those energy vampires and stick with what you believe you can make happen, right? I mean, is it not true that every single athlete that's a pro athlete will tell you that the biggest thing to them being successful was consistency, and they
Mhm.
never gave up on the dream.
They knew how to pivot. That's really it. You have to know how to pivot. There's so
Yeah,
many. Life will not go the way you think it's going to go. Like you could have it all planned out in your head, but I promise you, your life is not the movies.
and it goes
And
boom.
yeah, so if you know how to pivot, and that means you're consistent. That means that you took somebody's advice and you be like, okay, maybe it doesn't work this way, but can I make it work this way?
Sure.
And if you keep doing that, whatever idea, like you were given this dream, you were given this idea for a reason. Like your ideas don't always pop up in people's heads. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to be rude to anybody else. But there's sometimes I'm walking around. I was like, did you really like? You're not really thinking right here. You're just in like autopilot. So you were given this dream. You were given this thought process for a reason. Take advantage of it.
Yeah, good for you. Good advice. Great advice. All right. And then let's look at this. How can others help and be a part of the process? And I'm not sure why you gave me this question, so I'll just leave it with that. You have some thoughts about this, so I'll let you dig into that a little bit.
I'm always looking for connections. I'm always looking to get out there and help others. And the best way I tell people is if you join the site, join one of the groups that I'm a part of. I'm constantly, especially like if you're local, but I'm constantly going out helping entrepreneurs. I'm helping the little guy. This was made for the little guy. So if you want to be a part of that and help others and be a part of that network group, I guess that's what you would call it, and help others as well, join BizTrix.
Have you thought about doing a Noah Watts quick cast weekly, maybe 10-minute like thoughts from Noah or something like that, or a quick cast Noah on your community site,
Uh,
maybe? Or
I,
just interviewing. I like the way you were interviewing people with your wireless mic, but you got to have some video aspect to this. You know that, right?
Yeah. So
Okay.
that will be an upgrade coming soon. That costs a little
Okay.
bit more money with production and everything.
I
But
understand. Okay. I'm
it's
just
that
asking.
I do want to because like that show like how it was made.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um 2 Chainz has a show, most expensive stuff ever.
Yeah. I love it.
There is so much out there that people do not like. There's so many different businesses, so many different ways to go. I know somebody who has hydration, basically Gatorade for dogs in pouches. And growing up, I would have never even thought like that was a thing. I was like, dogs drink water. Like, you know, you would never think. But these things are businesses. These are avenues people can take that people just aren't aware of. Where
Right.
if I can get more people aware of these type of things, so I want really niche things where you're like, oh, like, you know, I don't want we know there's a garbage man out there, but did you know that there's a company turning plastics into bricks so they can use those for roadways because they're a lot more sturdier and a lot more compact?
Absolutely. The fun, niche, cool, fun facts that you didn't know. That's pretty cool. I like that. Yeah. So you want to become this big information portal, not only for business, but information, questions, the AEO we mentioned, you know, the kind of a niche within the social net. I would consider you a niche within the social side, meaning I'm going to create a portal that's really directive, really centered, really has a mission to it, and it doesn't discount these other great sites that people can go play on, but we're going to do this, right? This is where we're going to focus our energy, and I like that.
And the greatest part is it's all user based.
Yes. In other words, you don't have to do a whole lot. Yeah. But you have to build it and you have to continue to make it work. So yeah, so that's your job, right?
Yes.
But you want users to do it. All right, guys. So let's do this. Let's finally bring this up. I'm going to ask our listeners when you get a chance, and I'm going to put this in the link in the description box after this is over, so it's a direct link back to him. Go check out BizTrix.org. I have added my profile to it. I told Noah before the show that I have on my schedule tomorrow. I'm going to spend a good hour and a half on it myself and look at all the tools. There's a lot there to go through and dig into, and I'm going to upload some past shows from the Mansfield Buzz and help him build this community. But man, I've got people I will definitely direct over to this, you know, alternative lenders, people like that, you know what I'm saying? That you were right about the small business. They're always looking for ways to get started that they can't go to traditional sources. So there's some cool things we can do on here. So, all right. So any final thoughts, my friend? You did great today. This is awesome. I'm so glad we caught up. This is such a big change from where this was 2 years ago.
Man, you're telling me, appreciate it.
I mean, if we went back and listened to the other show, which we won't, because we're
I'm gonna do it.
We're in the present, but my point is, it's come a huge distance in the last 2 years. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And by the way, I will give Noah some more kudos, even though, because this is a local show and it won't matter to anybody in California if you have to be listening or whatever. But we had 2 absentees yesterday, one being out of town and one doing something else. And this man right here led the whole 60 people at the Mansfield, Texas network group yesterday. He was put on the spot to be but he did a great job. So it's good for you. So, all right, guys, reach out to him, reach out to Noah, BizTrix.org. That's the best way to go check out the site. If you're in the Mansfield, Texas area and your business, why don't you come join us Wednesdays? We open a No Frills Grill and Sports Bar at Madlock and Debbie. Opens at 11:30. You know, and come have lunch with us and share your business. And then there's several other good network groups in Mansfield. There's the Chamber, there's the Mansfield Alliance, there's the Mansfield Business Collaborative. There's some other good network groups. And Noah, you're part of the, tell me about the other network group you're part of. It's the men's group, right?
I'm a part of, yes, there's in Mansfield particularly, I'm a part of Men's Coffee Talk, but there's another group I should tell everybody about because it was a great starting point for me as well. 1 Million Cups, and that is a national thing.
Yes, that's a good one. Darn good. Where do they meet, by the way, if you don't mind me asking?
There's a chapter in Arlington. There's a chapter in Fort Worth. There's a chapter in North Richland Hills. There's one in Dallas. Plano.
Is that posted? Do you have all those chapters posted on your BizTrix?
The one that I do, because I attend the Fort Worth one, I post the Fort Worth one. And
I'm good.
Working to get into other chapters. I mean, working to get all the other chapters informed about this as well.
1 Million Cups is cool. used to go to one down in Austin when I lived down there in Round Rock. It's awesome. So yeah, go check out 1 Million Cups. All right, my friend. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
We just want to remind you guys that we are now looking at the fourth Thursday coming up here in this month in August, which is coming fast. Hard to believe. And then I have a September date open and I have an October date open. So if any of y'all listening to this would take advantage of that, just hit me up on the email. Let me put that back up right here. There's my email. If you want to be on the show, just hit that in the subject line. Noah, any final thought?
Nah, you got me.
All right, brother.
Great questions.
All right. Well, listen, stay put. As soon as we end this, just stay on with me if you don't mind. Guys, thank you for being part of the Mansfield Buzz. If you didn't get it on the live part, we'll get you on the on-demand. We'll get this shared and give Noah a link so he can share it back out. We'll get it up on Facebook and on your portal, by the way. So this is really cool. So y'all have a great day. We'll see you in 2 weeks on the next Mansfield Buzz. Have a great day.